Ladies and gentlemen, Disney stock has been on everyone's minds as it comes back with a vengeance on its earnings. As I'm sure if you've been scrolling through the forums, you've seen some of the hilarity, and I look so forward to breaking this down for you. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors alike. Last night, I was working at the Board of Trade right next to the Toronto Stock Exchange, performing for TD, and everybody was talking about Disney stock. So we're going to start analyzing this and breaking down their earnings. In my own personal opinion, of course, but taking a look at the Wall Street Journal, I found this to be absolutely hilarious because I noticed that they put this little apostrophe. So let me read through this. It says Walt Disney Co., DIS, and they put an apostrophe S with this hit. I'm not going to say it for the algorithms here, but hit movies led by Lion King and Toy Story 4 once again helped drive strong quarterly results, but the company is largely looking beyond the theater for its future, focusing instead on reasons for folks to stay home because we all know they want to compete with that Netflix, baby. They pulled all of their content down and they're going to be launching that streaming service relatively news, which is why the stock actually jumped quite substantially back in early March or late March, early April, taking the stock up quite a healthy little chunk. It was up on that news about 20%, but at all-time highs, it hit 30% in the last year. But this company isn't known for growing that much, considering in the last 5 years, it has been absolutely nominal. And this news is speculative. It isn't on the books yet, so do keep that in mind as we continue to look forward. But we all know Disney's that conglomerate, and compared to other box office gross sales with specific characters and movies, Disney owns the big chunk of that. It's quite impressive just looking at who owns the most popular movie characters on this fun little chart here. But as dividend investors too, guys, like there hasn't been a whole lot of growth on the dividend side of things, just to throw that in there as a side note. As a dividend investor, I've never been too pleased with their overall dividend growth. But taking a look right into their books, currently Disney's worth $248 billion, which, by the way, Apple could afford to outright own with the cash they have in the bank. With that current yield of 1.3% on the dividend, and according to this, it says the PE 17.75, but on Google, it says the PE is around 19.12, which is still below the average market forward PE. So, I mean, they might be undervalued. It's debatable, hard thing to gauge currently with an entertainment company. But where I really enjoy Disney is in their balance sheet, because Disney has a total current asset of $98 billion, and they have a total liability of $45 billion. So what I'd like to do is take that $45 billion, minus it from the $98 billion, giving us $53 billion, give or take. And that $53 billion, if we go back to their current valuation of 248, is about 5 times their underlying asset. So when you buy this company, you're buying it for 5 times if they had to liquidate all of their assets today. So that's not terrible. Most companies are way more leveraged than that. But let's jump into the investor relation page and actually take a look at some of their last little earnings here. And I want to scroll back up because I was already reading through this, and I just want to show you how incredible this company is, because they make $6.5 billion just on the media network alone. And we know how big that is, including Fox, ESPN, all that stuff, right? And then Parks, Experience, and Products equates to $6.65 billion for the quarter end. And then we have Studio Entertainment at 3.3, and the direct to consumer and international is 3.4. Now, the parks are probably a little bit higher on the expense side of thing compared to the media network, but this company has a lot of its fingers in many different markets that bring up that 6.5 billion. So you know you're getting a diversification in entertainment. But I want to give you my opinion on why I don't own Disney stock and why I'm not the biggest fan of it personally. Because first of all, the news we're having right now is very speculative, and it is really based on how well they're going to be able to achieve this streaming service. But I look at Disney the same way I look at something like a Microsoft. So the reason I bought Microsoft was because I enjoy gaming, and I would rather own the platform that people game on than own the games that are the game producer, something like an Activision, right? Because sometimes media can be very cyclical, which means sometimes some of the content does well and sometimes some other companies' content does well. And I mean, you have to imagine that Disney is really riding on Star Wars and the Marvel, but can they continue that for the next 50 years and continue to grow at a decent pace. It's a tough thing to say because Activision recently took a big hit and they're slowly starting to come back. But if you own Microsoft, it doesn't matter who's producing the games. They're still playing on PCs. They're still playing on Microsoft, and Microsoft has a lot of other aspects to it as well. But when it comes to Disney, I don't know what I would own that they would probably watch on, maybe like an LG, like a TV company, because I don't enjoy Netflix either. Owning Netflix to me is also like owning Blockbuster. Like the way we view our entertainment seems to change every 10 to 15 years. So I mean, it's not my favorite company. A lot of people in the dividend community I find own this company, and if you're into it, I mean, I have nothing against it. I still think it's an amazing company, and it has a lot of future growth coming for it, I think. So it's just being patient, but I really enjoy the memes coming up lately. Like they're fun. I always love when the forums get lit up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown. Let me know, do you own Disney stock? Are you a fan of Disney stock? What do you think about the recent news on earnings? Because I mean, they're doing pretty good, guys. So stay cool, stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to you real soon.